With so many upcoming movies based on video games, it's apparently becoming a trend in Hollywood. There's a catch, however. More often than not, they eat up what made the games great, then defecate it in the films, expecting gamers and non-gamers alike to eat it up. Hell no. Some movies showed promise until they were released, and some were tremendous hype trains that quickly derailed into an icy river of dumb plot, laughable acting, and butt-ugly special effects. Welcome to Playcast. Here are 10 shitty movies based on video games. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Okay, this movie doesn't qualify for the butt-ugly special effects. Final Fantasy was the technologically groundbreaking movie of its time. The trailer alone left the game fans drooling like rabid dogs, and non-fans of the game can't help but be impressed. So what went wrong? You'd think the producers, Square Pictures, didn't own the license to their own game. Sure, there's Sid and Gaia, but what the hell? There's no magic in this movie, literally. What a shame. This should have been called Final Science Fiction, as it cost the demise of Square Pictures. The only redeeming quality is that this movie looked so freaking awesome, even to this day. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. Remember the other Street Fighter movie? Yes, it's bad, but at least it stayed true to the characters they're based on, and it was entertaining. This one, however, just wanted to troll the fans of the game. They turned M. Bison into an Irish real estate developer. Not to mention the miscasting of the Canadian Christine Crook as Chun-Li. And in case you're wondering, yes, that's Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas. Don't get me wrong, as there are indeed some decent fight scenes here and there, but there's nothing legendary here. I'm beginning to wonder, is it a mission statement for movie makers to disembowel the plot and characters of the games they're based on? This film is nothing but a face beaten black and blue. KO for this one. Double Dragon. This movie adaptation is a funny one, but not in a good way. Their attempt to make a meaningful plot resulted in the most forgettable scenes ever. Some of you may have never even heard of this film. The action sequences are so goofy you'd mistake it as a full-blown comedy. There's not much to say about this movie other than it looks really hilarious, and the dialogues are plain annoying. The execution is cartoony, and though it may appeal to kids, teens and adults laughed at this mess. This movie may excuse itself since it was released in the mid-90s, but believe me when I say that even modern adaptations of other games have been like this ever since. Resident Evil Apocalypse. Gamers have been clamoring for a true movie adaptation of the games for years, yet their cries fall on deaf ears. While fanfictions are good and refreshing, big production companies have no excuse whatsoever for being lazy. That's exactly what Resident Evil is. Though we see some cameos of recognizable characters, they seem to have been bastardized, and the plot is convoluted as hell. The survival horror element in the film is completely inexistent. Having replaced the fan-favorite characters with an overpowered protagonist, the film only appealed to those who never played the game. This movie in the series is where the downward spiral of the quality began. Super Mario Brothers. Mario and Luigi are two Italian plumbers who lives in the Mushroom Kingdom. In the film, they are Italian-American plumbers living in Brooklyn, New York, played by British actor Bob Hoskins and Colombian Johnny Leguizamo. They're twins, by the way. There are countless things that makes this movie a dizzying spin-off. King Koopa is a politician, the Goombas are monsters, and Yoshi, what did they do to you? This is a freak show which is uncomfortable to watch. I can only imagine hordes of children who cried in the cinema upon gazing at this film. Shame on you, Nintendo, for allowing this film to exist. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I'm betting many fans of the game have watched the first film. It wasn't great, but it was enjoyable and fun to watch as their favorite characters are fleshed out on screen. It also tried to inject some sense in the Mortal Kombat universe, to fill in those who never played the game. The second movie, however, didn't even try to improve on that. Most of the characters have been recast, alienating the non-gamer fans of the first film. The makeups in the movie are horrendous, reminiscent of the bad costumes that you see during Halloween. Not only that, the special effects looks like shit, as if unfinished. No other sequels were made ever since. Needless to say, this movie was a brutal fatality. BloodRayne. BloodRayne has received negative reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a rating of only 4%, meaning that out of 50 reviews, only 2 were positive. I'm telling you, those 2 are high on cocaine for giving it positive reviews. What's amazing is how this film managed to get Hollywood heavyweights, then made them act poorly in this film. The action sequences are so bad, they're not even passable for TV series during its time. The timelines were changed and the script is just plain dumb and stupid. And being directed by the worst director in Hollywood, Uwe Boll, didn't make things better, leaving the film as a bloody mess. Alone in the Dark. Terrible acting, cheap plot and action sequences, and terrible special effects are all you need to make a movie disaster. What movie makers keep forgetting is that they already have a source material, yet they choose not to use it as their reference. How dumb is that? This film tries to be cool by overusing slow motion effects. Not even bullet time, mind you, because they're expensive. They've completely forgotten that the game it's based on is a horror game. As the title implies, there should have been more scares in this film than there are action sequences. They were too dull and boring. This is another game-to-movie franchise that Uwe Boll desecrated. They should have left this game alone. In the dark. The House of the Dead. Another entry in our list that has totally nothing to do with the game. A low-budget movie hoping that gamers and unsuspecting moviegoers will waste their time and money on this shitty film. With a budget of $12 million, it's impressive how they earned more than $13 million in the box office. Unlikable characters, stupid plot, inconsistent pacing, and dumb acting, it nails everything we hate in a movie. This film is confused on what kind of movie it wants to be. Never mind the forgettable cast of characters. The special effects is enough to make you chuckle. Can you guess who directed this mess? That's right, Uwe Boll. He surely lives up to the name. He has a lot of balls messing up the film industry. I'm telling you, any franchise he gets his hands on is as good as dead. In the Name of the King. We've finally reached the end of the list. Another Uwe Boll shitfest. The film tries to hide its roots by putting the Dungeon Siege lineage as a subtitle. It aimed to be an original storyline, using the game as a lure for moviegoers who played the game. However, featuring mostly wooden performances, laughable dialogue, and shoddy production values, the movie fulfills all expectations of an Uwe Boll film. The production budget was $60 million, Uwe Boll's most expensive film production to date, yet it only grossed around $10 million worldwide. Not even Jason Statham's charm and appeal could save this movie from flopping like a fish out of the water. And there you have it. 10 shitty movies based on video games. Those aren't the only films that fall in this category. Be sure to let me know in the comment sections and I will include them in future lists. This is Playcast. I hope you enjoyed the video. You are awesome!